We're live? All right. Guys, put your questions in the comment section. As always, I'll address those here, or I will address those on the next live. Did you send me an email of previous questions this time? No?
We actually got through them.
We got through all of them?
But I think you should check the comments on the recent video.
Oh, in the recent video. Oh yeah, we did one of our most recent videos was a Kailua video. And we kind of did it a little different. We're at this point, we're like, how can we make another video about Kailua that's valuable to you? And a couple of ways we can do that. We can bring on new guests. So clients who have moved to Kailua would be an option. Also, this time I made like a case for Kailua because Kailua is a neighborhood. I learned in that video, apparently there's anti-Kailua merch, which I had no idea. But it's a polarizing place, right? Because it's like the most amazing place, but then there's also like some FOMO from other people. I think that leads to kind of some haterade. And so, anyways, we did a Kailua video. I got good engagement. We have some questions there, so we'll go to that probably to get this thing started. But also put your comments in the comment section here, so I can see them. All right, and I am pulling up some of that here. What did our thumbnail say? Oh, Christmas. So Christmas in Hawaii. I remember I've done Christmas lights here in Hawaii, and I remember the first year I moved back to Hawaii from California, and we missed the cold, right? Like we're just off of those mainland vibes, and we missed the sort of pumpkin spice latte, cold, put on a jacket vibes for Christmas, and we blasted our air conditioner, and we went through I think McDonald's and got they had like hot chocolate, so we got that and put on like a beanie and a jacket and just turn the AC up in our vehicle, being ridiculous. Partially because I've been home for a number of years, but also because it's just colder today. So it's been nice for it to be a little chilly. But Hawaii does have some cool Christmas lights. So we are actually going to film one of those. So this Sunday, is Christmas Sunday or Monday? So a Christmas Eve drop. The Christmas Eve drop is going to be a Christmas drop. So we're talking about real estate in the area that I think has the best Christmas lights on the island. All right, we are live there. Let me go to these Kailua comments. All right. Oh, no, while this is pulling up, another quick thing. Why am I here solo today? Well, you know what? Business is just like that sometimes. I actually had another thing I could have went to do. Luckily, Aiden covered it for me for Mahe and I. Mahe has an engagement she's taking care of. Kenny was going to jump in and be our moderator. We've liked in our last few lives having a moderator that kind of cues the questions and stuff, and that's kind of their role. But we have this complex thing happening. I've spent hours of my brain space solving this complex problem, and so Kenny's working on that, and so it's just Kenji and I, and that's just how the business goes sometimes. Just sharing is kind of an inside, like work, bring your audience to work with you kind of day. Like today's one of those days. There's just things happening. Do we have closing today? We might have a closing today. I know we had one yesterday, but as much as possible, we try and adhere to Tuesday as our team meeting, and we go over all of our clients who are hot and active, and do some training, and then do this. Sometimes the business just happens. It's a chaotic business. All right. There's 50 comments. How am I going to find? Should I just? All right. And help me if I have. Well, I guess I could bring up 2 YouTube channels and toggle back and forth. That's the challenge. We're just having one of me, a little more dead time, a little more. All right, so I have 2 YouTube things up, which will show. So I'll be able to toggle back and forth. All right, I don't see any comments yet. Oh, I do. Are there 3? Hi, Bill. I'll just go to those then. Meliklikimaka from Alabama. We're in the 20s over here. 40s daytime. Wind is killer. Ooh. We're in Alabama. Huntsville. What's happening in Lahaina? That's interesting because I haven't thought a ton about Lahaina. It hasn't been like a daily morning kind of thing like it was when it was original for us, when it just happened. And then I sat next to the governor yesterday. I didn't tell you that, huh? I dined at the Pacific Club, a country club. Yeah, you know,
Yeah,
so, you know.
yeah.
I was wearing my other color of this hoodie, and everyone's all dressed up. But I had a business meeting at a country club, and the governor of Hawaii just sat right at the table right next to us. He waved hi, sat down, and I thought about Lahaina, you know, and I thought about that, and something else came up where I had to think about it as well. But I haven't been boots on the ground in Lahaina, but it's a slow cleaning process. So the topsoil in Lahaina is so toxic that they're gonna have to remove all the topsoil and replenish it. So rebuilding can't even happen until that happens. So it's probably gonna be a couple of years before they even start to rebuild it. So I think for those people, there's still some processing, and from more of an economic and redevelopment standpoint, it's going to be a very slow process. Howdy from Florida. It's colder here too. We're at 53 degrees. Ooh, 53. You must be in northern Florida then. You must be somewhere panhandle or north. 53 degrees. I doubt Orlando or Miami is 53 or Tampa. All right, let me know your guys' questions in there. I don't see any more, so I'm going to go to. Are there more? Am I missing more? Alabama, Tennessee state line. So that's Huntsville-ish, right? Unless you're over more East Tennessee, East Alabama. That's country. That's I know you got food at the gas station over there. Little Waffle House on the next interstate exit up to 65. All right, so I'm gonna go look at some of these Kailua comments. I lived in Kailua during the pandemic, and this analysis is so spot on in my opinion. Kailua is a little bit of everything. I met a friend for life. I pray I'll be back there soon. I hear you. Derek, is there any famous streets or neighborhoods that are known for decorating their houses at Christmas time? Yes. In Ewa Beach, it's Noelo Street. So I'm going to put that. Can I put that in our chat? Oh, no, because it'll show up as me and like my other profile. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to maps here. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to show you guys. We've done multiple videos in this neighborhood, and I used to live after high school. So from 18 to 22, I turned 22 in boot camp. So I was technically 21 when I left. But in the Ewa Gentry area on Fort Weaver or Highway 76, which no one really uses except for like to reference sort of like local gang culture, the 76 and Geiger or Iroquois. If you go over here, turn on Keaunui, this is Noelo Street. This street has the best Christmas lights. Noelo Street, Christmas lights. I don't know what's going to come up on Google, but let's check it out together. We're going to make a video here this week so you guys can see. This is the worst. This Dallas Cowboys house, this is the worst. I'm just kidding. I'm not that big of a football fan, but I definitely don't like Dallas. Sorry. If you call in to do real estate with us and that offends you, we have more football neutral people. But this is the level that this neighborhood goes. Like this neighborhood goes hard in the paint. If that's something you know about. Let's look at it one more. Yeah, so it goes crazy. So we're doing a Christmas video there this week, and that should be posted this weekend. It's Noelo Street in Ewa Beach. Hey, from Texas, more southern Tennessee. We're considered northeast Alabama. If we cross the road, we're in Tennessee. Wow, that's the south. Thanks for sharing. Let me know if you guys have questions in the comments or just comments in the comments. All right, questions. This was my favorite video. I love Kailua. If we could afford it, we'd love Kailua. Thankfully, it's only a 30-minute drive away from where we're going to be moving to. It's changed so much in the past 25 years. Really went upscale. I'm part Hawaiian, and out of all the places that I've lived on the mainland, here in El Paso, Texas, would I say that the people are more comparable to back home? That's where the guy was from, right?
Yeah, he said El Paso.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Shout outs to Janet. The locals, mostly Mexican, are the friendliest and respectful people, in my opinion. I don't know what Joey means about people being cold here. Oh, I see. I see. All right. What else we got in Kailua? Really kind of depending on your guys' questions about Hawaii and about real estate. Vincent Lizama, Hafade. Hey, Par. Chelu, bro. What's up? What village are you from? Would you recommend buying in Kapolei and taking the tram to Waikiki? Nah, bro. The tram? That's my Chamorro accent. I think you'd be taking the bus or
The rail, I think.
the rail. The rail is not going to go to Waikiki for one. But depending, like if you have a job in Waikiki, it's going to be a while before that's even a good solution. So mostly it's like a bus situation. But when it comes down to buying in Kapolei and having to go into town, that's just something that people have to face. So they want the square footage and the level of home they can get. So if you're buying at like 500,000, you're gonna get more for 500,000 in Kapolei than you will in town. So you could buy in downtown Honolulu and a like Honolulu Tower and a condo, or you could buy in Kapolei and get like twice the situation, right? So it just depends. But in terms of catching the bus and or the rail, it's gonna take a long time. Like there's just no way around it. And we can go on Google and like look at how long it's gonna take and stuff. How's the Kauai market looking? Not a lot of inventory. I talked to a partner that we typically refer to on Kauai. It depends on the market. We typically refer to a certain person. And when we spoke recently, they were just talking about how inventory is so low. There's another agent from Big Island, actually, who they're planning to move to Oahu because they're like, there's just not enough transactions happening. So it depends on where on Kauai too, right? Like, are you looking at Poipu? You're looking at Princeville? Or are you looking at more like Rihui, Kalaheo? Like those markets are different. Princeville, Poipu, those are like resort markets. And that's where a lot of people from the mainland are looking to buy. You look in Kalaheo, that's a different thing. So it kind of just depends. Aloha from Georgia, Rambler. What's up? I'm looking for my pari from Guam to comment again. Can I get something lower maka kilo for 750,000? You 750 lower maka kilos possible. Likely to be a very small fixer for 750, or certainly a townhome. I would consider is it Kailani? Yeah, Kailani and maka kilo Kailani or Kainani? I'm pretty sure Kailani. It could be Kainani though. I'll have to check. But I would consider that townhome because they're like big, nice townhomes, have a little single family-ish feel, and then you're in that range. You got an actual single family for 750, it's going to be like a small, really bad condition. What month of year is best time to visit Oahu, Maui, or other islands? I don't think there's a bad time, but just know that winter into the spring, it's raining regularly. It's like right now, it's rained like every day for the past 2 weeks. No, rain by Hawaii standards, rain is, it's not like Florida rain, but it rains a lot. So the chances of you enjoying that beach vacation or it being a little nippy, like 60s in the morning and 70s during the day, like you like it to be more 80s-ish when you're going to the beach, right? Chances of, you just experiencing our mild weather are greater in these winter months. It's not a bad time. Not a bad time, really. I would say fall. Fall is early fall is less chances for rain and just less people because summer's finished. And things tend to be cheaper. Like we have a vacation rental and fall is the hardest time to rent it. What is the average selling price for townhouses on Oahu? Generally things close-ish to Manoa. Well, not a lot of townhomes in Manoa. There's like one townhome community in Manoa, close-ish. Again, as you get towards Manoa, it's just so metro. Condos, yes. Single families, yes. Townhomes, like there's one townhome complex in Moanalua Village that we are seeking out for a current buyer of ours. We sent some letters asking people, hey, if you're going to sell, like please get this family a home. Salt Lake, yeah, there's just not a lot of townhomes in that area. But for the few things I think of, you're 800,000 plus for townhomes. How much does spam cost at Costco now? I don't know how much spam costs, but I just see things about how it's not cheap. Walsh, my balls. Kapa. Yeah, I mean, it depends on your price point too. Like we referred a client to Kapa'a earlier this year, I believe, and there's just like one listing and one listing only, and there's like 600,000 range that they were looking for. So it's not a cheap place. I've seen people swim in the ponds by Manoa Falls. Will they get sick swimming in those ponds? They could. They call it leptospirosis. In any freshwater on Oahu, you could run into leptospirosis. So it just depends. Typically, with people with a strong immune system and no open cuts are fine, typically. But there's times where you see people in the hospital too. So be careful. Are those hotel condos where there's kitchenette studio a risky buy, 200 to 400 square foot? They can be, depending on the building you're looking at. I'll tell you, on Friday, we're going to meet someone who has referred to us to sell their condo, small 1-bedroom in town. And it's just been a bad situation for them. The house is depreciated, maybe more than it's appreciated. So they'd be lucky to sell to break even. And they bought 6 years ago. And if you bought 6 years ago, you should be making money, because 2020, 21 into 22, the 18, 20 month run was so good. You should be profitable if you buy in 2017. But this condo building now has a $70,000 assessment, termites. So yeah, I'm not a super big fan of these little 200 to 400 square foot with a kitchenette type things. If you're buying in Waikiki and you want to Airbnb it, and you're doing a specific thing, you're gonna pay a professional property manager to do so. Then that's one thing. I've looked at that myself, but yeah, I'm not typically a big fan. If you're gonna buy something really cheap, there's other states to do it and buy a better investment, I would say. How's the rail working out? Buying big in Kapolei sounds good, and taking the rail to at least Ala Moana, then bus. Depends where, events. If it, eventually the rail will take you to probably at least Kalihi or further, hopefully Ala Moana. And I agree. I lived in the Bay Area, so we would take like things like the rail, and that wasn't so abnormal to me. So I'm not as much of an anti-rail proponent as some people here, because I've ridden subways and stuff. But we'll see how it finishes, man. Who knows? It'll be a gamble, because you won't know how the rail will surely finish, and where they'll stop it at. Do you know when we will get a Hilo Pahoa video? I don't know when. We will do one though. We could do it in the first quarter of next year. We've thought about it. The real estate markets anywhere in Hawaii dealing with cryptocurrencies, particularly? What do you mean dealing with them? XRP and XDC. Is XRP Ripple? It's Ripple. Are you asking can you pay in Ripple? I'm not sure. I don't know what ecstasy. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, I'm not really sure. One thing that's happening is, well, not the condo. So we have an off market a deal that's coming. I can't give pictures or the particular address or things like that. But if you're interested in a 3-bedroom condo in town, reach out to us. There's an option for a VA assumption, so you could assume a VA loan if you're a veteran. This will be coming soon in the future. The seller's fixing it up, doing some things first, and then we'll be. It's just our timeline is contingent upon that, upon the repairs. Just painting. Took down some mirrors, so doing some refinishing of the walls. Handful of things. Our timelines depend on that, but we do have an off-market condo in town coming. There's a Mililani townhome in our funnel as well. Someone else may end up doing that. I don't know what other listings. We have a couple other listings as well. I'll try to remember them and bring them up here. But let us know if you're interested in that. On that note, when you're buying condos, you got to look at and underwrite. The good thing about having a loan is underwriting is going to do this in part for you. But you got to look at what's their insurance. Are they underinsured? So one of the things that happened, this is just one of the components. One is that policies were written with under, I don't know firsthand, this is what I'm hearing, but insurance policies were written with underinsurance, like just not enough coverage. But insurance agents want to win, right? So like listing agents in real estate, they want to get the listing. So if you're like, my house is worth $1 million, and I'm like, 920 maybe, I'm gonna want to say $1 million so that I get to sign the contract and start with you. And as you come to reality, or maybe the market catches up because we're in a crazy market that ascends so quickly, I want to be the guy there helping you, right? So I get the commission. In the insurance industry, it's kind of the opposite. It's like, oh, that guy said he can get you down to $5,000 a month. Well, I could do $4,500, but it's at the cost of underinsuring. So that's one of the issues. Another issue is cost, appraised values, tax assessed values, just values of homes have gone up, as well as the materials and the construction costs to replace them. So everyone out there, whether you're on the mainland, just watching, your uncle who lives in Vegas now, you're a Hawaii person, never selling or never buying, that's fine. Look at your insurance policy. So it's usually fine for people buying today, right? Because people buying today, they have to write a new policy at today's values. But when you have the kind of market that we just came off of, where values went up so much, if your insurance policy for your total replacement cost was at $1 million, and that was in 2020, then $1 million may not pay to replace it in 2023 and 2024. If we go on another bull run in this market, so if interest rates lower and prices go up, and that's the way that this works out over the next couple of years, even furthermore, your $1 million will not replace the total cost of your home if you had to, buy the land and rebuild it. The thing about Hawaii is, on single family, the land is most of the value. So if you got $1 million to rebuild, you'd probably be able to. But when it's a condo building, that's different, because little chunk of land, big expensive building, and so there's been underinsurance issues, and like a third of the condo buildings in town, like somewhere around there, and it's only increasing. And with this Maui, speaking, of the Maui fire thing, with the effects and the outcomes of that in terms of insurance claims and stuff just kind of now coming to fruition, it may be that insurers are just not wanting to insure as much in Hawaii moving forward. I think that that's kind of ridiculous, because not everywhere in Hawaii is dry desert. Not everywhere in Hawaii has, the situation that Maui had. So if you live in Hilo, it's like, why you don't want to insure me? Just like, don't call all of Hawaii the same thing, right? Like California, like you live out in the desert in California, or you live in a really wet part of Humboldt. It's like, just because it's California, don't not insure me. But Hawaii being such a small place, some insurance carriers could choose to pull out, which would cause less competition, which would cause higher prices for insurance. So we're yet to see those things. And it seems that condo buildings are the most vulnerable to the outcomes of that. I've seen some stuff. Gas in my neighborhood, $2.59. How much gas? I think I paid like $4.90 recently. I was
45 for regular.
445.
Or 454 for regular.
454 for a card. Oh, you saw it. I think I was at some place bad because I remember being closer to $5. I forget where I put gas. Comment that. I say put gas. And Maya, one of the things, she was like, put gas. You say that on video? I was like, what else would you say? And she's like, that's a pigeon thing. Only people in Hawaii would say put gas. Like, I guess so. What do you say? Fill up the gas tank? Put gas seems normal to us, yeah.
To us, yeah, put gas.
Put gas. Put gas.
Yeah.
Living in Waikiki apartment now. Want to save for a home? What's a good place to start for a down payment? Dodie, I think that you should just contact us, do a consult. We are never gonna push people into buying, but there is an equation. There's like math to be done. And should you try and buy like with an FHA loan now, where you're gonna have mortgage insurance, which means if your payment was only gonna be X, you got to add on Y until 24 payments have been made, or you achieve 20% down. 20%, loan to value. So I don't even think it's reassessed value. I think it's on the original. Yeah. So if you're buying like $1 million, you got to get to 200, for example. And if you get an inheritance at month 12 and you put 200 down, then you still have to have that mortgage insurance for 24 payments. I'm pretty sure. Not a lender, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. But there's an equation to be had. You know who'd be great at running that, because he's looking at buying with less than 20% down, and he made the spreadsheet that for my team that we actually use to go over this stuff. Aiden, if you contact us, we'll probably get you in touch with Aiden to do a little analysis. There's an equation to be had. So if you assume, you can assume 0% appreciation. You could assume 4%, which is more normal in the Hawaii market over time. So if you buy a home for $500, it appreciates the next year for 4%. That's $20,000 of appreciation. And then the next year for 4%, that's 22,000, another 22,000, something like that. You can see how the value of the home, in theory, if it were linear at 4%. Now it's not linear. Some years are negative or zero. Some years like 2021 are 20%. We're pretty bullish on next year because interest rates are going to be coming down. When interest rates come down, prices go up. So if you were to buy now with the mortgage insurance, are you paying extra per month? Yes. Is the cost of that worth getting in the market, jumping in the river now to row your boat in that wealth building stream? Maybe. You should at least run the numbers. I think Aiden, along with our lender, would be great at running those numbers with you. So start for a down payment might be just saving and getting to the minimal 3% down. There are 10% down products. There's a loan, they call it like a 80-10-10. So you're putting 10 down, you're financing 10, and then you do the 80. So there's different products, but should run the numbers. I'm never like a push. In fact, I'm a recovering Dave Ramseyer, where I'm like, no debt, pay it for it cash, and never have leverage, never have debt. And I realize that's just not a way to build wealth. You can't outsave the market. If you live at home and you make a multiple 6-figure income, and maybe, but for the most part, people can't outsave the market. It's like, I always just use this analogy. It's like there's this running river, flowing water, and you're trying to run next to it on foot. Eventually, you're going to tire out. You just can't run next to it and outpace it for that long. But if you use a canoe or use a raft and jump in that said river, laws of physics, you're going at about the speed of the river, which means you own a home. You're following inflation and appreciation at the speed of inflation and appreciation. Now you can do tactics to row. Now you can have tactics to go even faster than the speed of the river. And that's called wealth building. So you have to decide, do I jump in the river or do I try to run next to it for the next 10 years? Thing is that $500,000 place is going to be 800,000 and 900,000 in 10 years. And so, does it make sense to wait? I waited until I had the VA loan since I was 21, 22. And I waited until I was in my mid 30s to buy. Such a mistake. If I just listened to my stepmom, who I was like, if you're not sophisticated to explain it to me in nuance and detail, like the way we are capable of doing for our clients now, because I'm so hard headed. If they couldn't explain it to me like that in my 20s, I wasn't buying and taking on debt. If I had just bought, man, I would be worth, who knows? I wouldn't be here but with these people in my life doing the same thing, because I'd have a different wealth position. But it can be nice to think about, man, if I bought 1-2 houses in California back in 2009, 10, millionaire just off of those two, just off of holding those two. Living and learn. But there can be a definite cost of waiting, is my point. I see a lot of seabird sanctuary islands. Are you allowed to visit those, like atolls and stuff in the northwest, like the Western Hawaiian chain? Some might be sanctuaries like Monk Seal, a place where you can't go, but for the most part, if you had a boat, I think you can. I was on the bus at 9:30 p.m. I saw a road biker got on board and go off some stop by Waipahu in the middle of nowhere highway. Are they training for the ultra marathon? I don't know. I'll be going over the waterfall. Hey, caffeine addict, that might be a good, I want a waterfall of cash and wealth building. As long as you don't hit the rock or get tied up on the banks, that'd be the harder thing. All right, I'm gonna go back to some of our Kailua questions because I think I'm caught up on the questions here. Our most recent video, our Kailua video. Are you switch to that screen, Ken? Yeah. Okay. Here's a controversial one. So the Tronzoid said, quote, so he's quoting me, "These people have a bakery for their dogs. I get it." And then he goes, close quotes. "If there are people out there willing to pay for that, then that is good business for those people. I also do not understand the appeal of eating outside by a busy street and sidewalk. I bought a few crazy shirts several years ago for nostalgia, but they cost too much and they're too thick." I agree on the crazy shirts. They're expensive and thick, and that's why only my dad wore them back in the 90s. The appeal of eating outside by a busy street. Leave me a comment. You guys, leave me a comment. Do you sometimes like to be in a downtown where the restaurant is right on the street and there's the middle town square over there and that whole situation? Do you like that energy sometimes? Or you having a beer, having a brunch, having a happy hour, and you're right next to the street just because of the energy of it all? There's walker buyers, cars, horns, or is it just no, under no circumstances? That's not my vibe. I talked about that. Kailua is one of the only places you're going to get that outside of urban Honolulu. Kailua is the only town that has that sort of thing. And I reference these California towns like Palo Alto, downtown Pleasanton, Alameda, etc. These little downtowns, Berkeley, they have these cool little things like that throughout these cities. And it was cool. And I see more of the merit. One of the themes was local people, Kailua has its merit. Let's give it up and respect it for what it is instead of just hate on it. And yeah, I think Kailua is cool. And these people having a bakery for their dogs. If you continue to watch that video, you'd see that we had a conversation with the owner of the dog bakery, and we even interviewed one of their employees. And it's not that we were hating and saying buying quality food for your dog is pretentious, but you gotta admit, bro, when people live on this island with a weak middle class and a lot of people struggle to make it, and then a particular town has a bakery for their dogs, some people will feel a certain way about that, and that's all I was acknowledging. So nice, I like the controversial comments. Let me toggle back to this live with you guys, see if we have any. It's not for me, but some people like to people watch, I suppose. Don't mind eating by the street, free entertainment sometimes, people watching, fresh air too, but pigeons I don't like. Yeah. Vance Parr, what do you think of buying Waikiki Grand short-term rental? What are you going to do in it? You're going to live in it, or you just want it as an investment? Waikiki investing is a thing in and of itself. So let me know in the comments, like why what's the thing? What's the deal with Waikiki? What's the deal with either like living in Kapolei and commuting to Waikiki, or having that thing you live in Waikiki or own in Waikiki? Like, what it is about Waikiki? You have a job in Waikiki, or an affinity for it where you just want to be around it, or because if you're living in Kapolei and going there, like, I'm just curious. Fill me in, and then I can comment a little more. Dodie says they're like their children to them. You know what? You guys had a dog before? You guys still have a dog though? No, right? What happened to it?
Died when I was in Oregon.
Oh, no, but in your current home,
Oh,
you guys
no,
never had a
no.
dog? I've been having the dog itch recently. I like my Instagram shows me like quirky golden retrievers, or like quirky dogs, and I like watching the animal chiropractor guy. But my son's allergic, one, and then two, we're busy. The thing that's been making me itch about it though is I can bring my dog to work. I could have my dog a golden right here with me. I've been having the dog itch, and I've been considering it. My wife would kill me. My wife says that whenever we're even in our 70s, she doesn't even, like, all the time in the world, she doesn't want a dog. We're probably gonna have a dog then. I'll tell you that, if we're still together. I would want that dog companion then. Right now with travel, kids, etc., it can be tough. So, yeah, I like dogs. I especially like it when you live right next to me. The dog's perfectly trained. It's cute. It's quirky, and I get to babysit it sometimes. That's perfect. Due to the new construction developments on Oahu, have the same real estate tax rates in Oahu have the same real estate tax rates as resales. Do they have CDDs? Thanks, Derek and team. What's up, Raul? The tax rate is based on the tax assessed value of the home, in which we have the lowest in the country. So if a resale is assessed at a total of $1 million and the new construction is assessed at the total of $1 million, then the tax rate will be the same. As far as I know, CDDs. I don't know what CDDs is. I know tell me what a CDD is. In California, they have this thing where your tax rate is fixed, and I think that's kind of cool. What I don't like is California's tax rate. But if a tax rate is going to be high, at least a fixed one is nice. Because remember, your mortgage payment is PITI: principal, interest, taxes, insurance. So if insurance is going to fluctuate, principal and interest doesn't. So we can control taxes, and a person like an older person can keep those three fixed, and all they have to worry about is insurance. I like that. I'm for maybe a fixed tax rate for 60 and above or something like that. But I don't want to see our older people pinched because their taxes are increasing with increasing values. That's tough. Also don't want property taxes to go up, because I don't trust government and bureaucrats to do a good job with that sort of thing in general. So it's just a tough first world problems, right? What's your opinion on McCully or Punch Bowl neighborhood? Yeah, I have a couple of listings coming up in the Punch Bowl area. I think it's one of those places where it's pockety. I think it can be a different experience, street to street, block to block. In Punch Bowl, it's obvious when you drive around. McCully too. So yeah. Vince, investing and staying. So for just pure investing, there may be better places. That's what I always challenge people. Like, let's say in Guam. Let's say you can go buy something in Agana Heights, or you can go buy in Barrigada, or whatever. And these are villages on Guam. You're going to Jontnia or something, and you can get a better cash on cash return. Let's say you get appreciation and cash on cash return, but it's not Waikiki, right? It's like, well, perform better, make good money on your good investment, and then just take nice Waikiki vacations. and beds that are professionally cleaned at the Hilton or the Sheraton or whatever. But if someone must be in Waikiki, then that, Waikiki investing is its own thing. I like it because you can cash flow higher than almost anywhere on island because we have such strict Airbnb rules. But managing an Airbnb is a job. And for me personally, I don't want that. So I have to account for a manager. And once I account for that 20% fee for the manager, my numbers are mediocre. So I kind of look to other markets, I still may buy something in Waikiki. We'll see. Yeah. Community development district is in addition to real estate taxes. No, Raul, we don't have that. That's like a Melrose tax type thing. I'm pretty sure we don't have that. Get toy breeds. Your wife will change her mind. Their poop is small, not as much fur. Yeah, so Caffeine Addict, we used to have Havanese. And I think of those little breeds, they're the coolest. Like cool personality. I love their Havanese, and my parents still have him. But it's still a lot of work, if you want to go North Shore, you want to go beach for 16 hours and the dog's not coming with you, guaranteed accident. Think about smaller dogs, smaller bladder too. So, most likely that could have been a local business and niche for the bakery, feed the dogs. Some people have to find their niche, and I think it's pretty good for that company to come up with that idea. Yeah. That idea. Don't, Derek, stop hating. Likely could have been a local Hawaii family and business. I'm not hating. We went in. I mean, I acknowledge some people will perceive that as ridiculous, right? Also, we went in and met the owners, not Hawaii born and raised people, but super cool person. And they source their venison locally, and they source like their fish is caught here in Hawaii. And those dogs are probably eating better than you or I, and that's good. That's good, right? Because dogs are family. I'm not hating. I'm willing to pause and acknowledge that some people might find it crazy who don't get the dog thing, who don't get it like that. So not hating. Do you anticipate rapid growth to follow Kuile Place? What I know is that almost always when you buy pre-construction in Hawaii, by the time that you get your keys to the place, it's appreciated and it's worth more than you paid, and you've made a good appreciation play typically. But there's no guarantee to that, And then will the surrounding areas grow rapidly after that? I don't think so, because if you look at who owns the land and how it's zoned and stuff, there'd have to be a big consolidation, right? Like Kobayashi Group would have to buy like blocks, and there's fragmented ownership, so it's unlikely. It's unlikely that would happen. Can you eat poke every day as a staple meal, or is it a luxury meal like steak? You could, but mercury levels are going to get high because you're eating fish that's high up in the chain, and then increased chance of getting worms of some sort, right? So you could. Describe a Hawaiian staple meal, a healthy Hawaiian staple meal. What a healthy Hawaiian staple meal?
Taro all day.
Taro. So, I mean, taro is a root vegetable, right? So depending on your thoughts on, your macros and starches or whatever, taro is a whole food. That's a Hawaiian whole food. Look up, if you were interested in Hawaii health, look up this Dr. Shintani. He made the Shintani diet in like the 80s, 90s or something. And all these Hawaiians got healthy eating his diet. And it involved pork and fat. And basically he switched them off of processed foods onto whole foods. And everybody got healthy. Sorry, my nose keeps itching. Does a married couple and their in-laws ever go in on a purchase? Yeah. We have a rental and we love and in-laws who can't afford to buy. So toss around the idea of getting into the market with them. Yeah, it happens for sure. One thing to consider is if mom has a 600 credit score, that's going to affect the whole situation. So it's unfortunate when the person with the big income you want to bring to the table because they got the nice income, but then they have the low credit. So a person having, lower income doesn't really hurt because if, mom is bringing their social security check, it only helps you and wife, right? As long as everyone's credit's good. Yeah, it happens a lot here in Hawaii. So it's not a matter of whether it happens. In Hawaii, it happens a lot because that's the case, right? Is people need to kind of group up to afford real estate. So then they can be close. $5 Costco chicken. That's true. Costco $5 chicken still a thing. I bet you they lose money on that, but it's just a loss leader. It's in the very back. You got to walk through Costco. You're gonna end up buying a beach chair or a gallon of Maui onion chips or something. Trestle, be careful with the in-laws. Sometime in the future you could get in a fight. We leave that to them. Golden doodles. I don't think they shed. Yeah, I looked at golden doodles too. I can't get a dog though. My wife will kill me. Let me know if you're in Hawaii and your dog is perfectly trained and never has accidents. I'll babysit him. Dog sit him. All right. I'm going to go look at a couple more Kailua comments. And then depending on your comments in here, we're going to start to move toward dropping this one up since it's just me today. All right. Kailua video on screen. Good job, brother. We love you. Live off Hawaii. We'll be back in March. Grew up in Kailua. What you guys need is a Trader Joe's. If you watch this channel and you've watched several videos, you know I like Trader Joe's. When I was moving back from California, that went in. Like when we listed the pros and cons, lack of Trader Joe's was a thing. It just was. The chickens is evidence. Everyone. Yeah, so let's talk about cost, right? Everyone would love to move and live in Oahu, Hawaii, but let's take a look at what you need to make in order for your dream to happen in Kailua, Oahu. You need around $250,000 for the down payment and closing costs. Now, another $1 million for mortgage, insurance. Also, don't forget that you need extra money for moving. I don't know about the $1 million for a mortgage and insurance. I think maybe you're saying another $1 million in debt. That's fair. But that'll be if you're taking out $1 million, today's rates, your payment will be $6,000 something per month, which is not small. And any odds it ends up before moving. And it's the way it's written, it's hard to read. Many of us can't get a job with high enough income to support a small family. I get it. Not everyone can afford to live in Kailua. Not everyone can afford to live in Hawaii. The videos and the points we're making are if you can. And if you can't, I'm sorry. There are ways to increase, earnings and side hustles, and Hawaii's full of hustlers who do make it. And Kailua is just, it doesn't have to be a place that you move to. I think maybe more people could go visit it and enjoy some of those like street eats and stuff. Derek, how is the commute from Enchanted Lake to Iolani School daily bearable? Yeah, that's the thing. That from Kailua to town, it's a pretty good and predictable commute. Where it's like regularly 20 minutes. Dang, that got dark in the end with the men. Yeah, so the Menlo Park incident. So I mentioned we have a nephew, like my nephew-in-law. He goes to Menlo Park College, Menlo Park University, whatever. But he goes to college out there, and his friend went to the city, and with the city is San Francisco, like the heart of San Francisco. That's what they call the city, and got poked with a needle by a homeless person. Like came up and just jabbed them, and they ended up with HIV. This is like, it's anecdotal. It's anecdotal, but San Francisco is crazy now. The Bay is nuts. Someone said, Jose Jimenez, he watches, he said, where is Kailua? I grew up in Ever Beach, right across from Ever Beach Elementary, so Papipi Road. Never been to Kailua. And I'm like, what? No way. I mean, this is possible. It's possible. All right. Let's look at a few more comments and we'll start to wrap this up unless you guys just load me up with comments. Other than real estate, I would invest in Ripple stock, gold, silver, compliant staple coins, not a silver. Maybe Ripple, XRP, Ripple, they want to turn it into like the country's Bitcoin sort of thing. And there's private interest from Goldman Sachs. Or did they buy it? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a big Bitcoin or crypto person. So yes, I miss Trader Joe's. CJ, you and me both. But Trader Joe's better than Whole Foods. I would agree, just because I'm willing to spend more money at Trader Joe's, and there's all these little cool things that are reasonably priced, whereas Whole Foods is ridiculous, right? But Whole Foods is a cool vibe, cool post yoga vibe. Itchy nose, need to check if you're allergic to dogs. My son's allergic to dogs. No, I'm not. But you know what I think I am allergic to and why my nose is itchy? I bought this the last couple of days, actually. I've been like, my allergies have been worse, and it coincides with me buying this soap. It's called, what is the company? It's like big, it's like a man soap, like big ass soap or something. It's like this big, and it's a beer soap that smells like cedar. And I think that cedar fragrance is killing me. Kailua, I think Kailua versus Maui. That's a conversation. It's a very similar place. That's why your nose is itching. Hating on local businesses with a niche. Support local businesses. Derek, when are you going to go into business and start renting apartments? Add that to your arsenal. That will pick up a lot of businesses. Well, I think about that. I thought about that today, actually. I don't have wealth at that level, not anywhere close to be, buying apartment buildings and subsidizing that's a whole new level. But I would be into that one day, assuming I get there. But I'm not hating on local businesses. You hating on me. In fact, case in point about that, we promoted that local business on one of the top YouTube media platforms for Hawaii. We promoted their business, and the person in the girl who was in our Ashley, I believe, she messaged us and was like, "Oh, such a cool conversation. Thank you guys for promoting us." So I'm not hating at local businesses. I'm supporting them. Rafael, your points of the dog bakery were well made. We got it. Yeah. I legit was like, can I eat this stuff? Because
like ahi and stuff. Right?
You know what I mean? Like fish, like wild caught deer. It's like, what? Seriously, can I eat this? And what is the price? And it looks good. Might be cheaper than going to Whole Foods. You know what I mean? All right, now people are starting to argue about Bitcoin and stuff in there. So looks like it's my chance to exit. Like I said, we do have a ton going on today.
Maybe you just finish the
Hawaii Christmas thing?
Yeah. Oh, you already did it.
Well, we talked about it in the beginning, but we're going to Noelo Street in Ever Beach. I'll pull it up on the map one more time here. So Noelo, Noelo. I'll zoom out, like put that there. Noela and Pukanala. This stretch here in Ever Beach, it's like, I think it's the best Christmas lights for a neighborhood in Hawaii. Another option, since we're talking about it again, since Kenji queued me up, I'll go over to Waikele. And Waikele, I don't remember which street. It's like these streets here, I think. Like Umeke and Kuhana, or Kuhana and Anapau. But in any case, these Waikele streets here, across from Village on the Green, townhome community. They have a couple of really good streets too, but Noello Street's better. And we're gonna go shoot that video for this weekend. We're gonna go shoot that video and give you guys some Hawaii Christmas vibes. We're always gonna put some real estate content in there. Talk about the houses surrounding. I would consider buying on that street just for the Christmas thing. Like if I'm in retirement age and it doesn't matter one way or another, you gotta figure like 1 month out of the year, that's a 12th of the year. That's just joyous. My wife might be into it, and they're nice houses. So we'll see. Going to rental management as well. I'll be your first customer. I'm here in Mililani, staying with my granddaughter. I could rent out her condo, but locally you should be opening a rental management. I have considered opening a rental management company. It's too much to go into right now, but whenever I find that right partner, I'll open the rental management company. That's another thing. If someone's a real estate professional and they're watching this and you're a big fan of our channel, reach out to us. We're always looking to interview more people. Now, the chances of it being the perfect fit and us aligning, it's always low. You know, the chances of any two people aligning are low. But the more people we're able to meet, the more the chances. And we love to chat. And even if I'm not the right person to mentor you, or our team system isn't the right for you to plug into, I might recommend another. Say, hey, you should go talk to these guys. Total different brokerage. No benefit to me at all. But I think you'd match with so-and-so. So if you're interested in real estate and you're a licensed real estate agent or working on your license, let me know. Thanks. We'll check out Noello soon. Is there a Christmas parade just like Halloween? There's a little Christmas parades. Like Eva Beach just had one. Hawaii Kai has the boat parade, which I think is pretty cool. There's the Honolulu City Christmas Lights Parade, which my family went to this year. Yeah, we got some. Is Hawaii big Christmas celebration? Yeah. I mean, as big. We're not New York, you know, but New Year's is where we go off. New Year's, we're crazy. All right, guys, go to coreteamhawaii.com. Go to the very bottom for all your real estate needs when you need to sell a house. In fact, I'm looking to buy this year. I would like to buy someone's distressed property. If someone's like, hey, I'm moving to Vegas. I just need to get X for my house. It's in total disrepair. I'd like to, I might consider buying that. Or it's just really, really old. I might consider buying that. If you don't want to sell it that way, then I'll get it on the market. Might even recommend some repairs for you and get the most possible money you can and wring every little drip out of that, for you. Squeeze the fruit until all the juice is gone so you get your highest return. So hit us up for your real estate needs. You go to coreteamhawaii.com, go to the very, very bottom of the page, fill out that contact form, and we'll see you guys.